Another thing I was fascinated with this particular piece was the shadows.
So, Jessica, it feels like a rite of passage to make a work of this level of ambition. I feel like the Metropolitan Opera might be calling you soon. It feels, it has, when I was watching, I was like, this is almost like a hybrid form. It's like a song cycle ballet. It's just something else. How does it feel in your career to have made that jump of this level of production and full evening story, everything? So
it's pretty amazing. It's my whole career is just, and my whole life, like everyone's, it's a natural evolution of ideas and opportunities. And when this came to me, I kind of had I have these big epiphanies, and this one was like, I really have to do this. I have to make a story, but a story that was something that we can all associate with a universal feeling of love and loss, and one that was dealing with humans in a very real context. And I just really wanted to, I love the interaction of the inner arts. That was always something I really was fond of when I went to Juilliard. All of, working with the musicians and the singers. And it seemed so obvious, like when I was 23, that this is what I wanted to create. I just needed time and experience to get here in my life. So, there's more in the future, I know that, but yes, this is one of those, like, check, I did it.
Do you think you'll go back to, she really did it. Do you think you'll go back to shorter works, or, yeah, okay.
Yeah, nobody will keep commissioning hour-long works, and I'll be exhausted if that's what I have to.
And if you get a chance to get to the Norton Owen reading room, you can watch her last show that she was here, where she had the shorter works, and those are brilliant as well. Clifton, you wear 3 hats in this operation. I couldn't even get through them, 3 hats. So in addition, this is such a substantial role. You're on stage the whole time. You're carrying this arc of this tragic tale. So what's it like to manage this huge role and all the hats that you wear as part of Jessica Lange Dance?
I think it fell into place for me probably in the easiest way that it could have, meaning that for the creation of the piece, I got to sit next to Jessica and while we were here, actually, and as she was creating it, she would bounce ideas off me. We would talk about how they went on our trip to and from where we were staying, so I got to think of it in that way, both inside and out, about the piece itself, and have a little bit of an overview of the whole piece and what's going on, as well as the central story of the wanderer himself. So I had a step up in that way when I did actually get to go into the role. I had already thought about it and already talked through it with Jessica and thought about it for myself. So it was much easier than, I think, starting from scratch. So in that way, it was just very helpful, as opposed to feeling like, oh, I have so many jobs to do. Actually, one job very much helped the next one happen.
Stephen, you're an opera singer. You're used to being on stage. You're used to being the center of attention, and your role in this piece is so important. I love the way that Jessica has created space for the music and for your presence on stage. That is extraordinary. When we don't see that enough in dance, where there's an actual incorporation of the singer as a physical being on stage, and the blocking and all that is great. So this piece must be in your rep, or did you add it to your rep?
It became in my rep when Jessica hired me. It is now.
Well, now it is in your rep. So you didn't have, good. So then you weren't used to like the recital version
I had actually I didn't go to traditional college. So in a traditional college, you generally will do like a recital, but I didn't. I went to an opera school, so we only did opera. And so I had never done song cycle before, and I thought, well, this is a good opportunity because I'm not pooing on it, but just the piano and the singer is long. But to have like an entire world that's created around you that you're incorporated in, and having this view of the character being kind of, because I'm watching myself, I'm watching my death, I'm watching how how my death began and was completed, and afterwards, the way the brook is talking to me and singing me the lullaby of my death. So I think it's an interesting, it definitely brings alive the music and brings alive ideas and imagination in my own mind when I'm interpreting the piece. It really is a give and take, because when it's, as I'm following the music and they can lead me in some areas as well. And if I'm making a vocal inflection, they're also making the same physical inflection. And that's when the magic of the piece happens, when we're both making the same gestures with my voice and their bodies.
For me, a pivotal moment is when the wanderer leaves the stage, and you enter the stage space, yeah. And we just hear you, but then the wanderer comes back on. And so Clifton, I'd love to hear you talk about holding the space where you're not actually doing very much. It's a very quiet moment in the piece, but the two of you are there, and it's like the two souls. As a performer, you're a beautiful dancer, you can do so much, yet you're just holding that space. What's that like?
That's one of the most difficult things to do on stage, I would say, to walk and stand and to do things that are very simple. And so I think your intention is very important, and whatever you have in mind, and not that I'm going to say exactly what I have in mind in that moment, but I'm settling in that and kind of receiving what Stephen, or the singer, is giving to me, because he's definitely communicating to my character, but my character, even though we're one and the same, isn't seeing him. He has something else in mind. I feel like those are the same character for me in that moment, the same person, but at two slightly different times in their life, and that's what creates that.
So this is a question about the others. They're like a chorus. So
it was just so simple to me. They're the Greek chorus. They're the ones. They're the emotion of the wanderer. They support. They help the story. If we only had the four characters, I'd be bored. They'd be tired. I mean, it's just too much.
And we wouldn't have all that great string action. Yeah, it's so important.
The music is huge, and so
yeah.
it needed to be a big enough cast, and it worked perfectly for our size company.
What happened in this room that brought you to the next level? I mean,
what hasn't happened in this room for us, quite honestly. I mean, bringing me to the next level, if I go back only 3 years ago, we premiered the company here.
Oh.
And then
so this is a really important place for you.
I feel like, it's got some spirit in it.
Yes.
And so, it's just, we've been here every year for the last 4 years. 2012, we premiered the company here. Had a great success, and Ella invited us back right away in 2013, and last year in 2014 we were here making The Wanderer in the fall when the whole pillow was quiet. No one was here, and that was really magical. Just the leaves outside. We were dealing with trees, and then we drive home, and it was like, Clifton, this is The Wanderer. Like we're following this brook, and like it's leading us to home. Like, and that was just really a special time, and here we are again with this 2-week run, and I just have to say everybody, especially Ella Baff, has been a true supporter, and so a lot has happened here, and we're really appreciative of it.